Okay, once again, hello everybody. I'm Cynthia and this is Circle of Love. And today we're going to work on a project called Vibrant Village. So we are going to be creating little paper houses that we will actually attach together in a way that will allow the houses to be freestanding. We're also going to apply some really special meaning to each of the different houses and just kind of have fun creating, okay? I'm going to go ahead and flash over to my work surface and show you what supplies, okay, I have for everyone. Or there we go, that I have that maybe you'd like to gather. So for starters, I have some thick paper. Okay, this is pretty thick. It's almost like cardstock paper. I also have some scrap paper. And today the scrap paper I'm using is junk mail. So here, these are just little things that I get in the mail that I don't really need, okay? I also have scissors. You might need some scissors. You might need some glue. It might be helpful to have at least one writing or drawing utensil. So I have a marker, permanent marker. And you might like to have some coloring supplies. I have some regular markers here. I also have some watercolor paints. They are not all needed. You can just choose one. Whatever you have will work, okay? I have also some of these kinds of acrylic paints on hand. I just brought them out just to see, you know, what I was going to be inspired to use, okay? So those are our supplies, trying to keep it simple. And want to show you also how we don't need a whole bunch of fancy, you know, supplies to create something really, really neat, okay? All right, so I'm going to get started. And the first thing we need to do is we need to color our pages. So if you're working with blank paper, this means you're going to fill the whole page with color and pattern and design. If you're working with these scrap papers like I am, you're just going to cover the whole thing. And you can allow all of the words or images to show through. Okay, and so let me give you an example. If I'm using my marker, I can just go right over like this and see how you can still see through there, the letters. That's okay. Actually, we want that, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm changing colors as I go. And notice these are just markers that I'm using, okay? And I'm being really messy with it. Let yourself be messy. We don't need to be nice and neat for our project today. And I'm just continuously changing colors as I work on filling, here we go, this whole piece of scrap mail, okay, with some color. There might be places that already have some color or texture, okay, that you like and you want to keep. For example, this area here has this, you know, tree, almost a Christmas tree, a little bit of a Christmas tree. I might keep that there. And then continue over here to my coloring. And if you're working on a blank piece of paper, then you're just doing the same thing I'm doing here, okay? And you're gonna be just working on filling your blank piece of paper with color. Now, this part doesn't have to be done in any specific way because we'll still get a chance later to add even more color where we need it, okay? In a more specific way. All right, while you are coloring, I do want to suggest you might appreciate having a variety of color pages. For example, one that is kind of a darker color scheme, like this scrap paper is for me, and then one that's a little bit of a lighter color scheme. So I'm putting some yellow here on my page. Okay, that's paint, acrylic paint. I think I'm gonna even try some marker on this one. Okay. That's some light pink. I'll try some watercolor over here as well. So on this page, again, I'm focusing on lighter colors, a lighter color scheme, because one of the things that we'll be utilizing during this activity, one of the art techniques, actually, it's an element, one of the art elements is contrast. And so, oops, that's a dark color, let me change that. And so we're going to want to be able to see the difference between a piece of paper that is darker and a piece of paper that is lighter in just a bit. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to grab some of this green. And even though this green on my palette looks dark, since I'm watering it down with my watercolor, I have made it show up lighter on my page. You can see that I'm really not paying any attention to where I put the colors, how I put the colors, because really this isn't going to matter very much yet. We really just want to get our pages prepared. Okay. Let's see, I am going to add some more of this over here. And I'm going to recommend that you try working with or try creating at least 2 different pages, and one being a lighter color scheme and one being a darker color scheme. And if you get the chance to have more pages or work on more, absolutely keep going. It just means it's going to give you the chance to have more little houses in your village. Okay. Right, I'm almost finished filling this page. Let's see, I think I'm going to add a little bit of this pink that I haven't used over here. I also like this activity because by creating these pages in a really messy and playful way and not having to put a lot of thought into it, I don't feel pressure. I don't feel like, I'm doing it wrong. There is actually no wrong way. And it gives me the chance to choose colors that I might not normally choose. There. Okay. I think I have this page filled up. And since it's watercolor, it's a little bit damp. So I'm going to set it aside and give it the chance to dry. And since this page is a little bit smaller, it's kind of like a half sheet size, I'm going to work on another one. Let's try this one that's a little bit bigger. Actually, what if I do this? Yeah, I think I'll work on this one. I put the 2 together, it gives me kind of a full-size sheet. Let's do that. And I'm just taking my markers and I'm just going right over all of those pictures. The pictures that are already there in the background are going to give us a really great feeling of texture later. And remember now, this is going to be my darker color scheme paper. For those of you who are joining me live, you're welcome to go ahead and be working on your pages as I am right now to prepare the backgrounds. These are going to act as backgrounds for our village. Let's see, I think I'm going to try this one. When I'm choosing my next color, I'm really just looking for colors that I haven't used yet to try to get some variety. Variety is another one of our art elements that can give us some really interesting results. So you see, I'm not at all creating any kind of a specific pattern. Now you can, if you want to, absolutely add lines, add polka dots, add shapes if you want to, if you feel inspired to do that. I'm doing this in a very simple way, and I think you'll see how you can get a very, very great and very interesting look and product even just by some simple scribbles. Okay, so I have now these 2 sheets that again are in a kind of a darker color scheme. Okay, although I have this, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go over that pinkish color, make it a little darker. I did it with some purple right there. All right, and then I have my lighter color scheme that is now starting to dry. So it's perfect timing, okay? The first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be, once we have all of our colors, our pages colored, is we're going to be cutting some rectangles and some squares for our houses. So I'm not going to be doing any drawing first or any measuring or anything like that. I'm actually just going to go ahead and start cutting different sizes of houses. So I'm doing this one that is a little bit kind of taller and skinnier. Okay. I'm going to try another one that actually, if I do that again, if I make another cut, another tall, skinny one, what I can do is take that one and cut it down, and now I've made it shorter. Okay. And so what we're looking for is a variety, and I even end up with this shorter one out of the piece that detached from there. Okay. So we're going to just kind of create a variety here of sizes of houses. Maybe this one's going to be wider. Actually, let's see. I'm going to go like this. Okay, I got another kind of tall one. And this one that's super skinny, I'm going to cut in half. I'm going to make some shorter, skinnier little houses. And I'm going to just start with those. Even though I have more colored paper of the dark color scheme, I'm going to just save that one for right now. And you can see now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rectangles or squares for 6 little houses in my village. And I'm really actually going to enjoy really working on in this smaller size. Now, if you want to make your houses in your village all much, much larger, then it just means that you'll need that much more paper. Okay, that's it. But if you've got it, go for it. And if that's what you're inspired to do, go for it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be doing is actually cutting the little windows for the houses, okay, and roofs for the houses. And that's why we need this contrasting color with this other page that we created. Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna, this time when I cut the strips of paper, I'm gonna cut them much, much skinnier. Okay. The reason is because these little squares and rectangles that we create are going to act as the windows and the doors on our little houses. Okay. So notice this one that I cut, this window already is pretty big in proportion to this house. So I'm going to leave just that one window there. And then I'm going to make maybe a smaller one that I add like right here. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to maybe just work right now only on windows. So I'm going to lay out all my little houses like this so I can see them all. And I realize that I have this messy mat underneath all of these that probably blends right in with my houses. I hope that you can still see easily enough though what I'm doing. All right, so let me go through. I'm gonna, and this one has a lot of that pink kind of coloring on it. So I'm gonna set that one aside, and I'm just gonna come over here and I'm gonna create another new little skinny strip over here just for variety, because I want to be able to have different colors in my different windows in my different houses. Okay, again, variety is also one of the art elements that helps us achieve some interesting results. So you can even practice variety when you're cutting your shapes for your windows by making the windows different sizes or different shapes like those two are. And here is where you could get fancy with the shapes of the windows. I mean, you could make star-shaped windows if you wanted to. It's not necessary for our activity today unless it has some kind of special meaning to you and you're feeling inspired to do it, then go for it. Okay, I'm gonna also have this house have a couple of different colors of windows and a different number of windows. So whereas these two tall houses only have 2 windows, I'm going to change the orientation. This smaller one's going to have 4 little windows like that. Okay. So I'm just going through and I'm just cutting the different pieces I need for all the different windows. Let's see, and I'm looking for some variety again for the colors of the windows. So I'm going to come and cut from a different area. So on my light color scheme page, I'm going to keep going with my little windows. I think this one's only going to have 2 also, and they'll just be right next to each other. You can practice variety by changing the positioning of the windows. Here you see this is diagonally placed. Here you see these are pretty like almost lined up with each other like a grid, kind of a grid placement on these here. And then these are just the 2 that are right next to each other side by side. You know, just keep changing, giving yourself the chance to play around with different placements as well. All right, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try this one with my windows one above the other. That. Okay. And I got this other little one here. I think this one's probably going to have only 1 window. And let's see, I'm going to choose this color here and I'm going to put it just right there. Okay. I have my buildings laid out, which are my little houses, and I've got my windows laid out, and I'm gonna go ahead with my glue stick and start attaching my windows. Now, for you who are either live with me now, or if you are watching this recording and you feel like you're not ready yet, you're not yet at the stage or step where you can start gluing down windows because maybe you don't even have your windows cut yet, that's okay. You just keep going with the step that you are on. Okay, and just glancing at what I'm doing so that you know what's coming next when you're ready. If you're watching a recording, you're welcome to also press pause if you'd rather. And again, keep working on the step that you're on and finish that and continue when you're ready. There we go. I love it when I can have the chance to use junk that normally would get thrown away. For example, the junk mail pieces that I'm working with right today. It just feels good to be resourceful. It feels good to be creative that way. And it really opens up our options. Oh, so as I'm gluing this down, I noticed that these 2 windows here are similar in color, and these 2 windows are similar in color. So I think I could leave them that way. That could be fine. Or to add some variety, I might instead alternate them, put them opposite like that. Okay, just to mix it up a little bit and again, practice variety. Okay, and some glue on this one. It might be helpful to make sure that you put glue on all the very, very, very farthest edges of your windows so that they don't start curling up on you. I'm having to go back and press down again on the edges, I'm noticing. There we go, of some of these, just to keep them more flat. And once the glue really starts drying more, they will stay more flat. Just right now because the glue is still wet. You know, I'm actually going to turn this window horizontal. That's what I'm going to do. Decided I'm even going to turn the orientation to try to get some variety. Okay. And let's see here, I got one more window. Today's activity is a little bit of a longer activity than I normally introduce. But, oh, it's so exciting. Oh, it's so fun when it comes together in the end. It will be very enjoyable. Plus, it will make a really, really neat decoration for the holidays. Place it up on a shelf or table somewhere and enjoy it. Okay, I have here my buildings now completed with my windows on them. Now the doors will also get the same treatment, okay? So you again want to have that contrast in color, and you're going to go through and you're just gonna cut the little pieces for the doors. You could make the doors different shapes. For example, I could stick with this rectangle shape. I think I'll do this building, this little house with that rectangle shape. You could also create an arched door. I love arched doors. They're so fun. Okay, so you could do a little arched door like that. I'm gonna put that one here. Okay, you could also make a little, let's see here. How about a a triangle shaped door? I'm gonna make this one a triangle shape. This. And I think I'm gonna put it right here. I know it's a big, huge door for such a little house. Maybe what I'll do actually, since that is the case, and that's okay, you can do that. That's totally okay. I'm gonna bring it over to this bigger house though, just because I like the variety there. Okay. And the one that I cut here, I'm gonna place horizontal on this one. Nah, the door doesn't have to be vertical. And the door doesn't even really have to be there in this location of your building. The door could really be anywhere. It could be way up here on above your windows when we are creating art, okay? All right, see, I'm gonna go now and look for, I think I'm gonna do another little arched door for this little house right here. So I'm just cutting off little corners like that. Yeah, I like that one. And I just need one more. I'm gonna make that one a regular, here we go, standard door. Put it right there on that little building. And then I'm gonna go through and glue all of these as well. Oh, I get so excited as this comes together. Okay, now I'm noticing that or maybe I might have missed a door over here. So I'm gonna go and add one. Let's start off with this shape. And I think this is gonna be more of like a half circle kind of a shape door. I'm just trimming that down. Half moon kind of a shape like this. Let me set it down right there, be able to see it better. Oh, excellent. Yes, I'm very happy with that one. Okay. Giving me a fun feeling. There we go. I like that one. Okay, I'm just going to keep gluing down my doors. So I also like how you really don't need a lot of paper for this activity. A little bit goes a long way here. Okay, here we go. Now I've got windows and I've got doors, okay? Excellent, and I'm just pressing them all down like this. Again, making sure that the edges are staying down, okay? The next thing we're gonna be needing to do is create roofs for these. And once again, we want to maintain that contrast between the darker color scheme here on the building and lighter color scheme for the roof so that we can see the difference. However, if you feel like instead that you want to continue the roof with a darker color scheme, go for it, okay? Absolutely, that is your creative choice. think I'm going to stick with the lighter color scheme here for my roofs. And I am going, and one tip actually that you might want to consider, you might want to think about as you're creating your roofs, as you're choosing the size of your roof, is that you're going to want to try to keep your roof about the width of your building, okay? And there are just some logistics that come into this. It's possible that you could make it wider. And if you do, it's possible that you might find you need to trim it, okay? And that's okay because that's what artists do. They adjust as they go, right? So I'm going to show you how that works if needed later. So here's what I'm going to do. To figure out how wide I'm going to want this roof, I'm just laying the paper there right above it. I have a little bit hanging off here on this side. So I'm going to make a little bit hanging off here on this side. And I'm just going to trim it right about there. And what I just did is I did a little bit of a measuring kind of movement or action. You could instead just take any piece that you have and go ahead and attach it without any measuring. That's totally fine. Okay. Now I'm wanting to try to get a little bit more of a roof shape. So I am going to cut this at an angle on this edge. Okay, a little bit of an angle there. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cut it at an angle on this edge. I'm holding it together while I'm cutting just so that I can really keep a visual on, keep my eye on what the general shape is looking like and if I like that. But you can cut it while your paper is separate like this and then just, try it out. That. So here's my first roof. Now again, I want to practice that variety. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get some more paper. I'm just starting like that. The roof, I begin by just cutting a strip, okay? And then I come over here. Ooh, I'm noticing these triangular pieces that are coming off as scraps, and I'm going to save those. I might do something with those later. For this one, I think I want a rounded roof, like kind of a dome roof. So I'm just trimming off that top in a rounded shape. Okay, and it's going to be for this house. Right, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to make more roofs for all of my little buildings. Now, right now in my video, I am actually going to take a break from continuing my roofs and I'm going to go ahead and attach a couple of these so you can see how this is going to start to come together. Okay. I kind of want to give you a sneak peek. So I'm going to attach this one. I'm just putting a little glue at the bottom. And I stick it on. Okay, so here's what I have so far as buildings with complete elements. And if I see some windows that I feel like maybe I need more, I might come over and I might add one of these scraps. I think I am going to do that. I really like these little triangular scraps that I ended up having. And I see all this empty space right here. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to add that one right there. See how I added that window? Again, your windows do not have to be square or rectangular because there are no rules in art. Okay, what I want to do, the sneak peek I want to give you is I want to show you how these buildings are going to stand up. Okay, and that's where our very, very thick paper comes in handy. I'm going to take this full page that I have here of thick paper, which again is cardstock paper, and I'm going to actually make a cut, a long cut like this all the way from the bottom to the top of the page, and notice that I'm cutting in a wavy pattern. Okay, just keep going. Okay, so I cut this paper like that in a wavy way. right? Here's why. This is going to act like a snowy ground. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this wide enough so that my house, when I glue it on here, will be able to fit inside that fold. Here's what I mean. I'm using this house right now like this to get a measurement. So I'm just kind of folding it on there to get an idea. If I fold this paper like this, I want to make sure that the width of my house, when I come to glue it on, will fit inside the width of that fold. Okay, excellent. And then I'll just remember the order, or that's okay, I'll just leave it there. I'm going to grab another one and I'm going to come and do a fold again. Actually, let's see, to get variety, well, that's okay. That's all right. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so we're going to do another fold, make sure that the house fits inside of there. Like that one fits inside of there. And so when I go to glue my houses on, go like this, and I'll put a bunch of glue, same with the edges. You want to give it a lot of glue on the edges. And I just put glue just in this area down here because that's about how big this space is right here where I'm going to glue it. Okay, so I go ahead and I turn it over and I set it down. And you don't have to set it down and glue it all the way to the bottom of the ground. It might give you a nice effect if it's not. But if you want it to go all the way to the bottom, go for it. Okay. All right, so here I have, you can see now the back looks like this and the front is here, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and attach my next one. Okay, same thing, just estimating right now. Artists do lots of estimating. And again, I'm estimating the area of the glue I'm placing here and comparing it to the size of the area here where it's gonna go. Okay. Turning it over. And this time I'm also, again, for variety, I'm trying to not place it the bottom of the house at the same level as the previous one. So I kind of want my houses, my village to kind of be doing a little bit of an up and down kind of motion, just for variety, okay, and for effect. Okay, so here we go. Now we've got to adjust our folds of our ground, okay? Right now, this first one, remember, was folded back like that. So the next one needs to come and get folded forward. So I just change the fold I already had there and I make it come forward. So eventually what's going to happen is it's kind of a zigzag kind of a formation, okay? And I come and I just, right here, there we go. I just come and I bend this if I need to make my houses, my tall houses, stand more straight. And here they are, they're standing alone. This is what it looks like from the back. Okay. So here you see this is like a zigzag, like almost like a fan. If you were going to be making a fan, how you fold back and forth and back and forth. Okay. And now I have two of my village houses constructed. What I haven't added yet is their special meaning, okay? And this is where we infuse the village, we infuse the houses with all of our best wishes for ourselves, for our families, for our futures, for next year, for anything you feel like you want to add special love or special attention or special wishes or special care for. Okay, this is also a great way for those of you who like to offer prayers for people in need or for special events. This is a great way to also add your prayer wishes in here as well. Here's how we're going to do this. Remember that marker or that drawing tool or writing tool that I said would be helpful to have. Now I've got to find it. There it is. And I had for me, I had this black permanent marker. You could have whatever. You could even be a regular ballpoint pen. Okay. It doesn't really matter. It could be a pencil, or it could be one of your colored markers, or crayons. Okay. If that's what you were using for coloring your pages. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start thinking about, as I work on each of these houses of my village, what kind of wish I have for myself, for my life, for my loved ones, for their lives, for our world, okay? For any place or any area or anyone that I feel I want to give extra special attention or love to. Okay, so let's see. On this first one, I'm thinking about how in my life I'm really looking for and hoping to keep growing with, let's see here, with more, well, creativity for starters, and creativity in a lot of ways, not just with art, but with thinking about new choices in my life, thinking about new combinations, thinking about new, maybe even new people. Okay. So I'm going to put creativity in this roof. And when I do, I am even going to write it in a way that's not totally, there we go, nice and neat. I'm going to go ahead, creativity. There we go. And write it in a playful kind of, you see that? Well, creative way. And I say creative way just because it is different from the usual. And if anytime you are adding anything, you have the choice for adding it in a different way than usual. And anytime you're doing anything in a different way than usual, you're growing your creativity. All right. I am also looking for, really just looking for the things that bring me joy, the things that make me most happy, that help me laugh, that make me smile, that make me feel fulfilled and contented. Okay. All right. So that's going to be my idea for my next house in my next village. And that is where I am going to simply use the word joy. And for me, I will know what that means. I will know joy in which ways, and how does joy look to me and for me in my life. So I wrote joy there. All right, so now you can see I have two houses in my village so far. I have applied some special meaning. I'm going to come and apply some finishing touches. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to also add some lines for this window. I'm going to add some lines for this window. Make that one a little different. And I'm going to add some lines just to give this door a little bit more of an effect, like that, kind of like an outline. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing here for my joy house. And this one, I think I want to have some more kind of rounded corners like that. I think on this one, I'm going to add, there we go, a second line inside of there like that, and a second line inside of there. It's almost like they're frames. Just like the different look of that. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to give this one an outline. Okay, and I'll just leave that one by itself the way it is. And this one is the door here will also get an outline, and I'm going to put the handle on the other side. See here, I put the handle on this side. Here, I'm going to put the handle on this side. All right. And so here is the finished product for one of or two of the houses of my village and the method of making sure they can stand up. Something else you're welcome to add if you like, especially if you have these colored markers or crayons, is you can come and you can add some outlines. You can also add some additional little designs or decorations, okay, if you want to your roof. You can add some different designs and decorations if you want to here to your house. Okay, see how I add little polka dots on this one here. I'm gonna come over here and I think I'm gonna add some, actually I'm gonna switch colors. Remember, every time you're adding something new, it's an opportunity to do it differently than before. So here I have some stripes that I used in two different directions. I'm going to change colors again. I think I'm going to give, let's see here, this window, I'm just going to fill in like this. Okay, with some color like that. And you don't have to do this, it's just an option. It's another choice you have. Okay. And I think I am going to come up here and I'm going to give my roof a little outline because I just feel like I want it to have an outline. And there we go. Okay. If you are watching this by video or by recording, I want to thank you so much for trying this project out with me. And I'm so excited to hopefully get to see your finished product. Keep going with the rest of your houses. Now you know the process and you know what it takes to continue and finish them. If you need to add on more paper here, just glue it with your glue stick and continue the length of the village however long you need it to be. I also wish you all of these wonderful things that you have put into your village, all of these wishes, okay, for deep and really special meaning in your life. And I hope that you can join us again next time. Let me flash over to my face really quickly. There we go. Again, thank you for joining us for Circle of Love today. And if you're watching by recording, you can also send me a photo of your finished product, okay? Look in our Facebook page and you can add it in the comments there. All right, hope to see you next time.